Good morning to our lecturer and my fellow classmates. Today, we will be presenting an article review titled Ethics in Artificial Intelligence and Approach to Cybersecurity. My name is Nur Shafira Binti Jamwan, and I am joined by my partner, Lona Rachel Michael. The article we have chosen, authored by Gonzalez and Leak, 2024, explores the critical intersection between advanced technology and human values. As AI becomes a standard tool in our information systems, it brings a set of ethical and legal challenges that we must navigate. In this session, we will discuss how core principles of information ethics, such as privacy, secure development, and societal benefit, are essential to maintaining a trustworthy digital environment. Let's move into the introduction of the article. For our article review, we selected a paper from the online database titled Ethics in Artificial Intelligence and Approach to Cybersecurity by Gonzalez and Lee. This article is highly relevant to our syllabus as it examines how traditional principles of information law and ethics, like transparency and accountability.
Let's start with our first key concept, which is transparency. A major issue with advanced AI is that it can become a black box, where we can see the result, but we don't know how it reached them. This is quite risky in critical areas like healthcare or legal decisions because we cannot really know where and how they get the information given to other people. So the solution is to build AI that is explainable and to always include human oversight in high-risk situations. And because we must be able to understand AI's reasoning to trust it and correct its mistakes. The next key concept is fairness. So AI system they learn from data, meaning that data is biased, and so the AI will be too. For example, a fraud detection algorithm might unfairly target certain neighborhood or demographic, meaning that if a user search for something or some information, that information will be biased towards to one thing, and the consequences is high because the risk of unfair targeting based on a race, gender, or geography. So to prevent this, we must train AI on diverse, representative data and built-in tool to detect and correct bias. This isn't just a technical fix, it's also an ethical obligation for everyone involved. These lead us to a very tough question, which is who is to blame when AI harm? If an AI wrongly shuts down a service, is it the developer's fault, the company that uses it, or the users? The article calls for clear legal framework to define this accountability because we also need redress protocol to clear steps for fixing problems, and we must ensure a human is always ultimately responsible for the AI's action.
The key attribute discussed in the article is privacy and data governance. If you look at the diagram on this slide, you will see the core principles of GDPR that the authors highlight as the legal backbone for AI. Specifically, the article focused on data minimization, which is the idea that AI should only see the information it absolutely needs to function. As I mentioned in my review, this ensures data is handled securely and prevents unauthorized access. However, this creates an ethical data dilemma. As the article points out, there is a natural conflict here. To detect cyber threats effectively, AI needs to scrutinize large datasets, yet information ethics dictates we must protect user anonymity. The next attribute is secure development, which relates to the integrity of information. In information ethics, we often talk about trust. The authors argue that the trust is impossible, the system is vulnerable. They propose that security must be integrated into the AI's development cycle from the start. This prevents adversarial manipulation, where the information the AI learns from is corrupted by hackers. Essentially, secure development is a moral obligation to ensure that the information system remains accurate and reliable. Moreover, we look at the attributes of beneficence and non-maleficence. Beneficence is the ethical requirement to do good, which is using AI to safeguard digital information for the benefit of society. Meanwhile, non-maleficence is the duty to do no harm. The article highlights a specific dual-use dilemma. This is where a tool built for defense could potentially be used as a weapon. For a system to be ethically sound, it must have a framework that proactively neutralizes risks like algorithmic bias or unauthorized surveillance before they cause social harm.
Finally, all this leads to our final key concept, which is human oversight. AI is a tool, not a replacement for human judgment. So the final responsibility must always lie with people, especially with roles like information management or chief information security officer. We must advocate for a human in the loop model where AI assists and augments human decision makings, especially for critical security calls.
This mind map serves as the structural foundation for our article review, connecting the findings of Gonzalez et al. 2024 directly to our information law and ethics syllabus. It breaks down the article's complex themes into five actionable domains. First, we start by identifying the need for transparency and accountability. The article argued that AI must operate within legal boundaries like GDPR to bridge the accountability gap in digital systems. Next, privacy and data governance. This is our core focus. We examine the ethical tension between using massive datasets for security and the fundamental right to privacy, emphasizing data minimization as a key solution. Next, secure development. The authors advocate for security by design. We highlight that building security into the AI's lifecycle from the start is a moral requirement to ensure system integrity and trust. The last but not least, beneficence and non-maleficence. We look at the societal impact. We discuss using AI to protect the digital assets while proactively neutralizing harms like algorithmic bias and the dual use dilemma. In short, this map illustrates that responsible information management requires a strategic blend of technical skill, legal compliance, and ethical foresight.
For the critical discussion and synthesis, I would like to say the article's great strength is to weaving together ethic, law, and technology. However, we notice it leaves some practical tensions unresolved. For instance, complete transparency about how an AI works could actually make it easier for hackers to attack it. So how does an information manager balance the need for explainability with the need for security? Also, what do you prioritize when the need for fair data clashes with strict privacy laws? These real-world dilemmas require careful judgment and communications. In conclusion, ethical principles like transparency, fairness, and accountability are not optional extra. They are actually essential requirements for building trustworthy AI in cybersecurity. As AI evolves, professionals must become ethical stewards. Because our goal is clear to ensure that AI becomes a tool that protects society and upholds our fundamental rights rather than causing new harms. That concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.